Unstoppable, 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 unstoppable.
Yeah, I know you hate me, yeah, you gotta face me, yeah, I'm so unstoppable. Yeah, I know you hate me, yeah, you gotta face me, yeah, I'm so unstoppable.
Well, the Tarps coming off the field. This ball game will be delayed slightly, but that's always a good sign. And we'll have baseball with the Rockies and Braves going at it. Game 2 of this 4-game set. As you saw a moment ago, Ubaldo Jimenez will take to the hill tonight, looking for his 6th win of the year. And good evening, everybody. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, if you're a sports fan, if you're a Rockies fan in particular, you cannot avoid the scuttlebutt concerning Ubaldo Jimenez. Will he be traded before the trade deadline? There are all kinds of rumors going around now. That's the kind of age we live in, with Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts. And we talked to Jim Tracy earlier tonight about that very subject.
There's nothing you can do about it. You know, we had this conversation here last year. I believe we had the conversation the year before. We'll have this same conversation again next year. It's just part of this business, and it's part of this time of the year when this deadline, if you will, gets closer and closer.
And we welcome in Jeff Houston. It is part of the age in which we live, and everybody tries to be first, and everybody throws things against the wall. And quite frankly, there's some irresponsible stuff that's thrown against the wall. And the one time it sticks, somebody raised their hand and said, I told you so. And the other 99 times you can't find that individual. But from a player's perspective, is it a distraction if you're Ubaldo?
It is, because you're a human being. I mean, people go out there and say, well, let's trade this guy, let's do that. And I think they kind of forget after a while that it's not just a piece of meat. He's got feelings, and it does hurt you a little bit. But you understand the longer you play this game that's going to happen when expectations aren't met. Ubaldo knows that, but he also knows that he's pretty good. And I think that is the bottom line. And his season's really been the tale of 2 halves. And I'm not talking the first half and the second half. I'm talking about the first 9 ball games he was pitching. He was 0-5 with an ERA just shy of 6. But what he's been able to do lately is pretty special. 5-3, a mid-2 ERA. He's a commodity. I understand that. But at the same time, he is somebody that you want to build your franchise around.
Well, Dan O'Dad's on record as saying it would take a Herschel Walker-type deal for him to make that kind of move. I think as a general manager, it's your job always to listen. But the Rockies moving forward, and so far this year it's been a grand disappointment, but moving forward, he's a winning piece. And this game has always been about pitching, and you said it a moment ago, he's a rare commodity.
He is, because he's got the number one stuff. He's got the ability to shut down losing streaks, start a winning streak, can keep that going. He has got the arm, something that this organization has looked for a long time. He's taken that leadership, plus his contract is really good. That's the other thing that I think Dan's looking at, is the 3 years still left on the contract, $17 million or thereabouts, so that's good. I understand why people would want him, but you're just not getting, just because Dan's listening doesn't mean it's a deal.
Good point. Well, the Rockies and Braves will be playing baseball in a short while. Again, it's going to be delayed just a little bit. There was a lot of lightning in the area and a significant amount of rain. We'll talk Freddie Freeman when we come back. Can Ubaldo cool him off? on. However, it doesn't feel that way because the humidity's way up.
Feels like we're in the Midwest somewhere.
It does a little bit.
Or maybe Atlanta.
But after a delay that'll probably come close to 30 minutes, we will have baseball. Grounds crew has done their thing on the field. It looks immaculate, as it always does here at Coors Field. And Ubaldo Jimenez is pulling up the stirrups, and he is ready to go, looking for his 6th victory. And as Jeff Houston told you during our open a short while ago, he is throwing the baseball very well. He beat Milwaukee in his last outing, going 6 innings. And here's one for you. I know this ball game's at home, obviously, but out on the road, this is how good Ubaldo has been. The league is hitting 158 against him on the road. That is not only by far the best in baseball, better than Justin Verlander. It is the 3rd best mark all time since 1946. The only numbers better, Louis Tiant 68 when he was with Cleveland. The league hit 145 against him on the road. And Pedro Martinez with Boston in 2000, the league hit 154 against him. Right now, Ubaldo allowing a 158 average. Your former teammate Nolan Ryan's 5th on the list in '89 with the Rangers. The league hit 166 against him. So you know what?
Shows you how special this young kid is.
This is a rare commodity, as we like to say. Let's take a look at Jordan Schaefer. He'll lead things off. And the rest of the Atlanta Braves lineup presented by Southwest.com for their manager Freddie Gonzalez. Martin Prado will hit 2nd. Ryan McCann will bat 3rd. And then Freddie Freeman has been tearing the cover off the ball, not just against the Rockies, really against everybody. He had a slow start, but with the average well above 300 the last couple of months, he's got it up close to 280 overall now. Dan Uggla has a 10-game hitting streak. Eric Hinsky went deep last night. Alex Gonzalez, Nate McLeod again in right field for Jason Hayward. He remains day-to-day after being plunked on the foot 2 days ago by Henry Rodriguez. So it'll be start number 19 tonight for Ubaldo.
Yeah, he's looking for 3 straight wins for the first time here in 2011. Last 6 starts, we talked about his last 9, where he's 5-3 with the 256. His last 6, he's 4-1 though, with 37 strikeouts and only 12 walks during that time. And that fastball is coming back to life. And we talked to hitters a lot after a ball game when he pitches around the cage the next day, and they say his stuff has come back.
It is, and it's not just the velocity, it's the movement. He's getting that dramatic 2-seam movement. In fact, when he pitched against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, he went 5 1/3. He struck out 9. Jordan Schaefer, who takes ball 1 here, had no chance. He punched out 3 times against Ubaldo.
Yeah, and just completely overmatched, though, with every pitch, mainly the fastball.
And his first 2 pitches miss high, 2-0. They just announced the humidity at 68%, which is, for these parts, really high. And that's guided over at 90 miles an hour. 2-1 on Jordan Schaefer. And this is a fly ball to fairly deep left field. And Cargo tracked it down. 1 out. Defensively, the Rockies will have Cargo in left, Dexter Fowler in center, and Seth Smith in right. Ian Stewart had yesterday off. He's back in there at 3rd. Tulowitzki, Mark Ellis up the middle. Todd is at first base, and Chris Ionetta's behind the plate. With 1 gone, Martin Prado will step up. Prado in last night's ball game, 2 for 5. He came off the DL on Friday. He was out with a staph infection.
They missed 31 ball games because of it. And even the last time we were down in Atlanta, he was still just trying to get back into shape before he went out on his rehab.
That's off the plate. 2-0. Prado, a career .345 hitter against the Rockies. Got to play him even up. He'll use the whole ballpark. And this is chopped to Stewart. He'll get his feet underneath him. Crow hop, fire to help. No sun to worry about tonight. Still a pretty good cloud layer overhead. 2 gone. Todd said that was just the second time. I knew you were. Is that where you were going?
Yeah, that's
the
where I was
second time
gonna
it's
go.
ever happened to him. The throw last night that he lost in the sun.
And what a helpless feeling that is as an infielder. When you go and you think you're in the right spot, everything's fine, and then it just disappears, and you're battling. You're thinking about your safety.
McCann with a base hit to center field. And that'll bring up Freddie Freeman. And let's see if the velocity changes a little bit. Baldo's been working 89 to 92 here in the opening pitches of the ball game. Now you have a guy on base and a guy at the plate who is tearing the proverbial cover off the baseball. Well, we have a new feature tonight. It's called Text the Booth. It's back. We haven't seen it in a while. We'll answer as many questions as we can live on the air. Text chair followed by a space, and then your question is 720-720. It's brought to you by our old friends at Office Liquidators, Colorado's largest selection of mesh back chairs.
You notice where they went the first two pitches on Freddie Freeman. Tried to go inside.
Like you thought they might.
Like I thought they should, and they did, because they got tired of watching that ball going out to left field, center field, right field. You have to keep hitters honest. You can't just let them look into one area or one zone the whole time. If Freddie feels comfortable just looking away and hitting the ball that way, he doesn't have to think about inside, but you have to pitch there. Great pitch by Ubaldo.
Pitch. 95 on the knuckles. Well, Freddie Freeman, if he wins Rookie of the Year award, he send a thank you card to the Rockies, because they obviously have given him some pitches to hit. 5 home runs against the Rockies, a .526 batting average, 5 of his 14 home runs. McCann takes off and steals second. That's not something you were expecting. His third stolen base.
Well, Ubaldo wasn't paying attention to him with the Freddie Freeman and his numbers. Todd was playing behind McCann, so he just took off for a stolen base.
Here's the 3-2 on Freeman, and a shattered bat, and the bat goes into short center field. Ubaldo got over there, and Freeman retired. So a base hit by McCann and a stolen base. He's left at second. That's working a guy in. Offensively against a guy they have never seen, Brandon Beachy. Cargo will lead things off, 286 average. He had a hit last night, 1 for 4 and a walk. The rest of the Southwest batting order for Jim Tracy will feature Mark Ellis in the 2 spot, Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, Seth Smith in the middle. Ian Stewart will bat 6th tonight, then Chris Ionetta, Dexter Fowler, and Ubaldo. This guy's a fascinating story, Brandon Beachy. He was undrafted out of Indiana Wesleyan University, that baseball mecca in Kokomo, Indiana.
Still resides in Kokomo. And Mark Stout had a wonderful piece about Beachy in the pregame show, talking about how he's just risen through the ranks as an undrafted guy with the Braves and come up and really been one of those phenomenal stories.
You talk about risen, it's a meteoric rise. It's only a couple years ago that he was pitching college baseball as a closer, and he was an everyday third baseman for Indiana Wesleyan. He was signed out of a summer league, the Virginia Valley Summer League, and he was signed, evidently the scout, and he deserves a lot of credit for Atlanta. He called the office and he said, listen, I got a guy we got to sign. He said, how much money we have left? And they offered him $20,000. You were an unsigned free agent. That's a ton of money for a guy that's undrafted.
Boy, I need a better agent myself because I got $1,500. But good for Brandon Beachy, and then he goes to in the minor leagues and he's pitching in the instructional league, gets a call, hey, we want you to go pitch against the Braves.
Or against Philadelphia.
Excuse me, against Philadelphia, while he's pitching in the instructional league.
And this is in a pennant race.
Yes.
That was last year. After splitting last year between Mississippi and AA and Gwinnett County and AAA. Here's the 2-1 as you look at Freddie Gonzalez. And that misses 3-1.
Well, Beachy has not allowed more than 3 runs in any of his last 9 starts. 3-0 with the .252 batting average.
Good physique, 6'3", 215 pounds, 24-year-old. And ball 4. And he does not do a lot of that. He walks Carlos Gonzalez, however, leading off for the Rockies, and Mark Ellis will come up. Atlanta's got the same defense as they did last night. Hinsky, Schaefer, and McLouth in the outfield. Prado, Gonzalez on the left side. Uggla and Freeman on the right side. And McCann doing the catching. So Beachy walks Cargo. Cargo stole a base last night. And for Cargo, he's got 16 bags now, which is 11th best in the National League. And he'll work 91 to 93, touch 94 occasionally.
12-6 curveball, slider, changeup. Over the top more, maybe a higher 3-quarter, not quite like you'll see from Cole Minter for Arizona, but very high up there. Was a third baseman in college and didn't pitch much his senior year because he had shoulder problems.
The thing that's amazing to me, and the only guy I can think of, just off the top of my head, that was a closer turned into a quality starter was Josh Fogg, who was a closer at Florida. Speaking of Florida, that's where Mark Ellis went. He hits his ball in the air to McLouth. But here's a guy that, he wasn't even a full-time pitcher. He was more of a position player. And Atlanta immediately turned him into a starting pitcher.
That's where you can develop the secondary pitches, though, as a starter, because you're out there for 5 or 6 innings. You're able to work on the curveballs, the sliders, the change-ups. If you're just a closer, you just don't have to worry about 2 pitches. And that's why you'll see a lot of organizations do that with guys they get out of college, where they'll make them starters and then decide, is he going to stay there or move in more to a relief role.
Helton takes his first look at him. Ball 1. Again, Atlanta trains in Florida. They train in Orlando at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. And so the Rockies don't see Atlanta during spring training. So unless somebody played Indiana Wesleyan a couple years ago and they overlapped, that's the only way somebody on the Rockies had seen Brandon Beach before. 7-game hitting streak. Beachy, I should say. 7-game hitting streak for Helton, a .404 average.
Well, kudos to their scout who found Beachy. Just take a chance on a guy, and that's what all it is just give me an opportunity. And then he's done the most of it.
Down the left field line, punched that way by Helton. And Cargo will go first to third, Todd into second with a double. Good base running by Helton. He realized that Hinske had a long way to go, and the grass is wet.
Veteran move, because he takes his ball and slices it down the left field line. Ball was probably off the plate just a little bit. Hidden inside of Martin Prado. Head down, follow through. But Hinske was playing Todd more into the left center field gap. He had to run a long ways, and you're right, Drew. By the time he picked that up, wet ball, Todd said, I'm going to keep going and give Troy an opportunity to drive in a couple runs.
546 doubles now for Helton. One out for Tulowitzki. Takes a strike. Tulowitzki, the club leader in home runs and RBIs, 17 and 61 respectively. Couple hits yesterday. Schaefer playing a pretty shallow center field. Who wants tacos, folks? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, make sure you go to Taco Bell the next day in the state of Colorado between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies tacos special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Tulowitzki, a couple of RBIs shy of 400 in his career already. Become the 9th Rockies player ever to eclipse that mark, and they're out there for him. He was fooled on that slider. It's 1-2. Troy was, for a while, the toughest man to strike out in the National League for a couple of months. We've seen more punch-outs the last few weeks.
Well, what we've seen is more expanding the zone. Not getting the ball back down into a good hitting area. The ball has been elevated some, where he swung at it the last 3 ball games. He's ended the game with the strikeout. You know, that just eats at a guy that is as competitive as Troy is.
Well, you tell your mind one thing. When the adrenaline flows,
yep,
it does something else. Stay back, let it travel, boom, I'm gone, right?
Easy to say, tough to do.
Yeah.
It is. All those things, hey, just make a controlled swing. Just put the ball in play. Hit it to this guy. All that's easy until you get up there and you're thinking, okay, one shot here, I can put us up 3-0.
3-2. Smith on deck. Got a seat for him?
He's sneaking up on it.
Got big eyes. Or is he wearing glasses? What is that thing? Tulowitzki wasn't sure, fired at it, keeps you at bat alive.
We still have to look fastball from Beachy, even though he's just around 91, 92 miles an hour. What we've seen is the slider more from Brandon than the straight 12-6 curveball. Stay back, Troy. Think the other way. Think of trying to use that right center field gap. If he leaves you a hanger on the inside, that's when you pull it.
Here's the 3-2. And it's fouled back into the upper deck. Safelite Auto Glass, the place to go if your windshield's damaged. That's from a partner
today.
Went just today. That's right. 303-287-5000 or Safelite.com.
Came to the house, put a couple windshields in. Quick and easy and painless.
Perfect. Beachy steps off the bat. These are the situations. So much focus, Jeff, on what you do late in ball games. How about getting off to a quick start, taking advantage of this early opportunity?
Especially for a Baldo.
High fly ball to deep left field. Did Tulowitzki get it? You bet! 3-run jet, Troy Tulowitzki. That's the fast start they were looking for. That has to feel good for Troy.
Well, I mentioned a moment ago, think the other way, and you look at it, you think the right center field, but then if they hang a slider to you, it's like a BP fastball, and that's what it was from Brandon Beachy. Fingers together, that was a slider that didn't do anything but back up right over the middle part of the plate, about belt high. Troy with the full extension and follow through, but that's from thinking, I'm not trying to pull this guy, I'm just going to react, and that's what Troy did.
Fastball misses, ball one on Smith.
I was with you, Drew. I wasn't quite sure if it was going to have enough carry because it was hit so high.
And honestly, and we'll ask Troy later on tonight, he's so strong, I don't know if he got it perfectly.
No, but that's where it helps to be 220 pounds as strong as an ox.
Looked like it may have been a little bit toward the end of the sweet spot, but he
his
hit it far
extension,
enough.
though,
Yep.
his extension through the ball, that and it's the ball stayed on the barrel of the bat long enough.
Boy, it's good to see those guys smile.
It's nice to get an early lead too.
Yeah, I know fans are frustrated. Everybody who's associated with the Rockies extremely frustrated. Nobody more so than the players. I mean, they got to grind it out every day. They expected this club to do special things and not be 6 under 500 right now. Long fly ball to right center is handled by Schaefer. Smith is retired, and that'll bring up Ian Stewart.
Ian was out early today taking some extra batting practice. Trying to get that stroke fine-tuned. Get back to using the left center field part of the ballpark.
And being aggressive, he goes in
waves.
He goes in waves. It's a good way of putting it, Jeff. Thank you. Of where he'll be more aggressive, and Jim Tracy and Rockies really like to see that, and then he'll go at bats where he doesn't move the wand at all.
And those are the frustrating ones where you're pulling the bat, you're just dragging it back to the bench, because if he squares it up, he has the ability to hit it out. But it's a consistency that's eluded Ian for most of his career.
One and two. Left center field. Hinsky makes the catch, but the Rockies get after the precocious rookie Brandon Beachy. A walk by Gonzalez, a double by Helton, a 3-run shot by Troy Tulowitzki. That's too legit. Thursday night at 6:30. We check in with the All-Star and learn what really fuels him on the field. And Tula also tells us why he signed a long-term contract with the Rockies and what it means to wear the purple pinstripes for his entire career. We all hope. It's Rockies All Access Thursday night at 6:30. Dan Uggla in a 10-game hitting streak at the plate. Uggla, Hinsky, and Gonzalez. And Ubaldo didn't get that strike call either. It's 2-0. He's been behind in the count early in this game. Ubaldo, at least so far in this game, doesn't have the good fastball yet. The last couple of starts, we've seen more 95s to 97 all season.
I'm a little surprised because of that humidity factor that you talked about earlier, Drew, with it being 65%. That's what it was in Atlanta and Washington when he threw so well in those ball games. It was very hot and humid.
Yeah, to his liking. Here's a by the way, Tulowitzki and the Rockies, when he homers, good things happen. 13-4 record this year when Troy hits one out for Colorado. Last home run was July 2nd.
Some movement on that baseball from Ubaldo, right at the bottom of the zone.
Nice play by Stewart. That's called plus range if you're a scout, isn't it, Huey?
And plus arm. Being able to go that far, cut over in front of Troy, make the play.
We have our first question on text the booth. Have there been any successful lefties at third, short, or catcher? We assume, Casey, you mean left-handed throwers. And we did a little research, Casey. The last fielding chance for a left-handed shortstop was our friend Hal Chase, wonderful man, back in 1905. How about the last left-handed throwing catcher?
The last left-handed throwing catcher was Benny DiStefano back in 1989. There have been 8 since 1900.
I remember
a total of
Benny,
63 games.
I remember Benny
Yeah.
DiStefano. This ball to left center field, and Dexter glides over and makes the catch. 2 outs. Hinsky's retired.
Good old Jiggs Donahue with the White Sox had the most games. He had 45. That was from 1900 to 1909. Jiggs was a heck of a player.
Joe, if you think about it, of those 3 positions mentioned, the one spot where you may be able to get away with it is behind the plate.
The only problem is you have too many right-handed batters. Where if there was a steal when you're trying to throw over the top of them. I know it happens some with the right-hander and a left-handed batter. That might be the only place.
That's first 95 of the night. Ball and a strike on Alex Gonzalez.
And fans, now you can purchase Rockies tickets on your Android or iPhone at ColoradoRockies.com. Or you can take a picture.
A couple of 96s missed, 3 and 1. Braves are a hot club. They've won 18 of 24. The only team playing better baseball over that time frame. The Boston Red Sox, a 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Nate McLeod.
First it was a game. Now he's trying to get our cameraman crash.
Don't get too close, or there's a reason we call him Crash. Splitter for a strike.
First split finger from Ubaldo. Maybe the second. It's tough to tell sometimes between his split and his hard slider, the one that goes down as well.
For most guys who throw a split finger, there's Crash working away. For most guys who throw a split finger, it usually shows up as a strikeout pitch, 1-2, 0-2, that type of thing. Ubaldo will throw it to start out a count, a fresh count sometimes.
Kind of a get me over. Instead, you hear a lot of times a get me over curveball or get me over slider. Well, he uses it as a get me over, get ahead 0-1 pitch.
One and two.
Now you're seeing that velocity start to ramp up a little. That last pitch was at 96.
It's the third time he's hit 96 in the game. Gonzalez at first, and see you later, Nate McLeod. First strikeout of the ball game for Ubaldo. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. The Rockies leading 3-0 on a Troy Tulowitzki 3-run homer.
Lead here early on, as Drew and Jeff were talking about. Brandon Beachy played in the VBL, the Virginia Baseball League. It is a wood bat league. A little bit more on that. It goes back to 1923, and he was a member of the Woodstock River Bandits. They are playing a game tonight against the Winchester Royals. It's a 12-team league. They went to wood bats in 1993, and there have been a number of major leaguers that have played there. In fact, current guys like Brett Gardner of the Yankees, Mike Adams of the Padres, Kevin Kuzmanoff, the Evergreen guy who's with the A's, all played on that league like Beachy. And as you guys said, the scout came by, stopped to see a game, signed him that summer, and here he is pitching at Coors Field for the Braves.
Well, when you talk about summer leagues, and I'm sure that's a nice summer league, but to be fair, it's not one of the elite summer leagues.
Like the Cape.
Like the Cape. Alaska, probably not.
Probably
where
down a little.
It's down from where it used to be. This is a high fly ball to shallow left off the bat of Iannetta. Gonzalez will go out and make the catch. The Northwoods League has really come on in Wisconsin and Minnesota.
We still have the Jayhawk League.
Jayhawk League, that's where you were signed out of.
Yeah. But it used to be the big three were the Jayhawk. It went from probably Alaska to the Cape to the Jayhawk League. Now there's a lot more leagues out there. The guys available to play summer and get exposed and try to get signed.
Dexter takes ball one. Fowler 1 for 12 since his return. And make it 2 for 13. That's a risky play right there by Eric Hinsky. Somehow that shoots by him. That's at least 3.
Especially on this wet grass. If it was a normal dry day, I could see trying to come up and make the play like Kinski did. He's got that big glove out there, and it was able to stop the ball and keep it from going by, because where Nate McLouth was in center field, that's at least a triple, if not an inside the park home run.
What did you think in this situation? 1 out, pitcher up, that play. I was just trying to describe it. Where the runner goes and you get a fake bunt. In this case, you got the slug bunt. I was trying to set you up. You like that play?
You know what? It's a great play, Drew. It is when it works out. But you can do this when you're up 3-0. If you're trailing in the ball game, I don't think you can do it. But you kind of catch the opposing team off guard, because you're thinking it's just a straight up bunt situation with the ball, though, has 4 sacrifice bunts on the year. But they tried the slug bunt, it worked, and then you get a stolen base.
And here you could take 2 shots at driving him in, albeit the first shot you're getting is not going to be a great one with your pitcher, but you never know. And then you have Cargo on deck.
Well, and
you can do it with an 8-hole hitter who can run, as opposed to when you have your catcher there, who typically, in the Rockies' case, is not going to steal base, i.e. a Chris Iannetta. So he strikes out Ubaldo, but you have a runner at second still. Another text the booth question: is there any update on Charlie Blackmon? Charlie Blackmon's on crutches. He's going to be out at least a couple of months. He's on the 60-day disabled list. He had screws put in his broken foot. Breaking ball for a strike. So unfortunately for Charlie, yeah, we see him, but you're not going to see him play baseball. Hopefully, at some point in September, he can play before the end of the season, but that's iffy.
Just to get a few games and not have to go into the offseason without playing since July. This is the right man in the right spot with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Carlos hitting .423 this year.
One ball, 1 strike. Trying to get that timing back. Well, it takes a couple days away, in this case basically a week away, to disrupt your timing.
And that's what it is more than anything, and that the risk is not the issue, it's all the timing.
Broken bat liner. One and 2. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. If you're not a customer, see a Wells Fargo banker. Become a customer.
I don't think there's anybody on the Rockies who breaks more bats than Carlos Gonzalez.
And produces more hits with broken bats.
He had one last night. Base hit into right center field on a broken bat. So I'm not sure why BG is worried about Dexter with 2 outs.
He's going to score on a base hit regardless.
Yeah, and he's probably not going to try to steal a base, because that's an easy throwing lane for Brian McCann down to third.
Plate coverage there by Cargo.
Beachy worries about Dexter too much and then makes a mistake to Cargo. It's a 5-0 game.
Yep. High fly ball, deep right field, and this one's going to sail out. What did you say about 5-0? Rockies making Beachy pay for every mistake. Home run number 14 for Little Pony.
When you make a mistake, he's going to make you pay, and that's what he did. Tried to come inside, but it was a breaking pitch again that Beachy got hurt with. He got hurt by the slider to Troy. And Carlos knew as soon as he hit that one that ball was out. But it goes back to the diversion of his attention with Dexter out at second base.
Well, this is uncharted territory for Brandon Beachy. He's not used to getting beat up, and that's a bullet to left for a base hit. With 5 runs he's allowed, ties a career high. Florida got 5 runs off him back on April 14th. He goes out there, there's a lot of 1s and 2s and an occasional 3. That's how good he's been. He's not giving guys a lot of offensive opportunities, but the Rockies have played ping pong with the seats so far in this game. Elton up with 2 outs and Ellis aboard. 5 runs on 5 hits. And Todd's going to roll this one to second. 2 more in the inning for the Rockies. Carlos Gonzalez goes long distance. Lewitzki a 3-run home run, and Carlos Gonzalez a 2-run home run. And Ubaldo a strike one on Brandon Beachy. All the O's have come to play tonight. Cargo and Tulo get it going.
And throw in Ubaldo.
Throw in Ubaldo. The Rockies are tough to handle. Now Beachy showing why he was a position player at Indiana Wesleyan. That's his first hit of the year, and he only had 3 starts last year. Got to do some quick check and see if that's his first big league hit.
I'm not calling for the baseball. He was 0 for 18.
Well, I don't know. You know what? No, the umpires look. Yeah, must have had a hit last year. Schaefer fouls it off.
Pitchers take a beating all the time. We saw one last night off the mask of Brian McCann. Tonight it's off the wrist of Chris Iannetta. Even with the Evo shield that he wears, it's has protected padding underneath, like a hard piece of plastic right around the wrist.
Tag play at second. And Beachy's gone. Well done by Todd Helton. Yeah, another double play.
Yep.
She knows the deal. Rockies, since the start of 2010, have double plays than any team in baseball.
103 now on the season. Todd going over to the bag. Easy for him because he's left-handed. He can put his left foot on the bag and in one motion make the throw to Troy with a good throwing lane.
By the way, Beachy did have one hit last year, so the single a moment ago, his second career hit. Prado at the plate. Martin bounced one to third, his first time up. Rockies up 5-0 as the Braves hit in the third inning. Sliders in there. That misses away 3-1. It's really been an even split. Strikes and balls for Ubaldo tonight so far. 21 in the zone, 20 out of the zone.
But most of the time that Ubaldo has missed, it's been down in the zone. We haven't seen a whole lot where it's been up and flying away.
This is a huge chopper. And Ubaldo, he realized that the only chance he had was to field it barehanded and fire in one motion. So it'll be a infield hit, and that'll bring up Brian McCann.
But now they're asking for that baseball, so there must be some significance for Martin Prado, and we'll find that out. But ball right off the plate. Ubaldo's only option would be to try to barehand it in one motion, throw out Prado. Because if he catches it in his glove and makes the transfer, he would have no chance. There it is, 500th career hit for Martin Prado.
He's going to get a bunch more. Down the line, fair. Smith to the baseball, and they'll stop Prado at third. Brian McCann 2 for 2.
Angel Campos at first base had to get out of the way as that ball was tracking right at his feet. Right down the line, he gets into position.
I couldn't tell on that.
Yeah, when his feet went up, couldn't quite tell. It looked like it might have caught part of the line.
All it has to do is catch any part of the line, but really difficult to tell. Joe West at third. Two outs, Freddie Freeman up. Ubaldo's got a bear down here. He's got a 5-0 lead, which is most unusual for Ubaldo this year. He's had very low run support. In his last outing, the Rockies scored some runs, and it's the most he had seen all year. This is pulled foul. He's done well jamming Freddie Freeman the first time.
Well, you had to, and Freeman was 10 for 19 going into that at bat with 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a slugging percentage of over 1,000. So you had to, you try to work them in a different way than what you had been doing, and they've thought about going in, and that's what they continue to do.
We got a Geico quote concerning Freddie Freeman. Jason Hamlin must be eating a different box of Wheaties than everybody else right now.
Maybe 2 boxes.
Big enough too.
Yes,
he went. He went. They won't even check it out. Home plate umpire Sam Holbrook saw it.
But when you put it in the hitter's mind that you've got to cheat to try to get to that fastball inside, you don't have time to check your swing, and he definitely went around.
See if they go back in again.
Looks like they're going to go away with the fastball.
Strike 3. He painted there. So Baldo needing to get an out. Punches out Freddie Freeman. And 2 left on. 5-0 Colorado, middle of 3. Good pitching by Ubaldo. Tulowitzki, a 3-run home run. Gonzalez, a 2-run home run. Coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments on this. We want to know, if you were in the big leagues, what would your walk-up song be? You were in the big leagues.
Yeah, but
did you have a walk-up song?
No,
did they do it back then?
They had the organ.
Okay.
So you really didn't have the opportunity to pick out your walk-up song. They just threw some music up.
Here's Tulowitzki, and this ball is lifted to deep left center field again by Troy, and this one, he was off the wall. Tulowitzki to second with a double.
23rd double on the season for Troy. And another ball that was hit high in the air but just kept carrying, and if it had not gone to the deepest part of this ballpark, it would have been out. Well, that was a strikeout just a moment ago of Freddie Freeman. Here's the swing from Troy. Another hanging pitch that he hits out over the head of Jordan Schaefer.
Troy safe at second base, safe and secure New York life. Seth Smith at the plate. Rockies a chance to build on their 5-0 lead. 6 hits already off Beachy. And there's number 7, and Tulowitzki will roll home easily. Here goes Smith, scampering towards second. Good wheels, double. Back-to-back doubles. Last night, the Rockies had 10 hits. Smith had a triple, and there were 9 singles. Tonight, the Rockies breaking out all kinds of extra base hits.
Well, Seth said, Troy with that double, just one behind me. I got to get a little clearance from him. goes down and gets the ball, trying to hit it to the right side to at least get Troy over to third base, but he gets him in the scoring position, and then Seth just takes off with 25th double. Nate McLeod was a little slow getting that ball in.
That bounces up there. Stewart takes it. Smith thought about advancing. Did not.
Seth now moves into 4th place, tied for 4th place in the National League in doubles with those 25.
Carlos Beltran is coming back tonight. Leads with 28.
Beltran, another guy that's been rumored to be going everywhere.
Seems like everybody on the Mets is rumored to be going somewhere. Guerin is warming up. We saw Guerin when the Rockies played at Turner Field a week and a half ago. Good off-speed pitch, 1-1. 4-pitch mix for Beachy. He's got a good curveball.
Well, he hasn't been able to locate his pitches tonight. Unlike what we were hearing from scouts and various Braves personnel.
This ball's hit the center field and deep. Schaefer going back, still going back, and at the wall will make the catch. And Smith goes to third, but it was very interesting his route there because he was starting to round it because the ball was hit so deep by Stewart.
Well, if Schaefer does not hit the cutoff man in the air, if there's any sort of bobble, it's a read for Richie Dower to be able to send him. If he's just jogging into third base or taking the straight line, then there would be no opportunity for him to do this. Jordan going back right at the base of the wall, about 413 feet away from home. Strong throw in to Gonzalez to cut it off, but if that ball's bobbled, you can keep going. And those are the fun RBIs. Sack fly, the guy at second base.
And you know, it's a great description that you had on that throw to the cutoff man. He's got a pretty good arm. There are center fielders, you know, a lot of times they're fast guys that don't throw real well. There's center fielders where, you know, if that's going to hop once or twice, or you got to go way out, now you're about 200 feet from home plate to go get that baseball as a cutoff man, you could see a guy with plus speed score from second there.
And especially with a little bit of the wet grass that we've had with the rain earlier tonight. That ball skips, you don't grab it as well, you make the throw, it slips out of your hand. And Jordan Schaefer did hit the cutoff man, so Seth is at third and an opportunity for Chris to drive him in.
Yep, infield in, obviously, for Atlanta, trailing 6-0 here in the third inning.
With the ball on the hill, you can't afford to give up another run. That's why Freddie Gonzalez said, I have to play this in. I can't sit back.
And this is popped up and playable in foul ground. Prado makes the catch, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Fowler.
Decision time for Freddie Gonzalez. Do you walk Dexter Fowler to get to Ubaldo Jimenez?
I think you have to. You're already down 6-0. You can't let a position player swing the bat here. We saw Jim Tracy, who never does this sort of thing, do it yesterday, very early in the baseball game, and it worked out, sort of. It worked out because Hamill got Derek Lowe to hit a broken bat roller to third, but that was the throw that Wigginton to Helton where the ball got caught up in the sun and 2 runs ended up scoring. But it was also a tip of the cap to the Braves pitching staff.
And he also did it in the Milwaukee series with Prince Fielder. He walked him to load the bases to get to Corey Hart. Corey Hart hit into the double play to end the inning.
Dexter to first. Baldo will come up. Let's check tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Brandon Beachy at 93. Ubaldo on several occasions at 96. Rockies have scored in every inning, 3-2-1. 3-run home run in the first by Tulowitzki, 2-run home run in the second by Gonzalez, who's on deck. And a run already in here in the third. There are 2 outs. Back-to-back doubles, Tulowitzki and Smith. And line down the right field line. Foul. That kid almost made the initial catch. He ended up with the baseball. Baby.
That's why you bring your glove when you're sitting in the front row.
Start his glove to protect mom and dad. That's a strike. Baldo's got 6 runs of support coming into the ball game. He was averaging 3.5 runs of support a game. That's the 13th lowest in the National League.
He finally got some runs in his 18th start. He had over 4 runs in that ball game. I mean, that's how few and far between it's been for a Baldo. Pitching that razor thin line.
Yeah, that was the first time all year.
Yes.
His last start. 18 starts in, first time the Rockies have gotten him 4 runs or more. Think about that. And you understand maybe why his record's 5-8. And he'll be the first to tell you he didn't pitch great early, but his record is misleading. Rockies have a 6-0 lead. Seth Smith with an RBI double. Trying to win for the first time this year against the Braves. Time to visit again with Mark Stout. He's got tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold.
All right, guys, had a great conversation with Freddie Gonzalez, the Braves manager, today about what he was doing in June of '92 when he was the first manager in Marlins history up in Erie, Pennsylvania. The Erie Sailors playing the first game in the Marlins organization. And the first guy to throw a pitch was none other than their 2nd draft pick the previous year, John Lynch. Yes, you know the name John Lynch. This is a picture of him when he was pitching for the Erie Sailors. Yes, John Lynch, that went on to play for the Buccaneers and the Broncos. Freddie said he is the greatest guy at that point that he'd ever met. He said, this is the guy you want your daughter marrying. So we knew how good of a guy he was. But he did say to me, he said to Bill Walsh, this guy's going to Stanford, is supposed to be one of the top safeties for the NFL draft. He's slower than most of my pitchers. We had a chuckle about that, but you know, everybody in Denver knows that John Lynch, solid guy, what his career was like in the NFL, but he did pitch a little bit out of Stanford, as you guys know.
Tremendous athlete. Been a couple of guys that played football at Stanford. They were pretty good baseball players. This ball's hit a long way to left. And Dan Uggla has his 16th home run of the year, and it's 6-1. He's also got an 11-game hitting streak.
During that time now, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, hitting over 330 during that 10-game hit streak. But that just shows you the strength of Dan Uggla, because was out in front of that pitch a little bit, but still had the strength to hit it way back. We've talked about hanging sliders tonight. That one wasn't really a hanger. He just went down and got that one. The finish where he drops that back leg and extends the left arm to hit it out. Halfway up towards the concourse.
Barney Rubble's strong. Eric Hinsky at the plate. He gets cut in 2. 1-1. Freddie Freeman has taken off against the Rockies. Dan Ugla, who's had an ugly year, has gotten untracked against Colorado. You go back to that 4-game set where he hit a couple home runs in that series. He's now 7 for 19 against Rockies pitching this year. 3 home runs, 4 driven in.
Started it off in that first game of that series, 2 for 2. Then he 2 for 3, 1 for 3, driving in a lot of runs. Still hitting 190 as Dan Ugla.
See ya. 94-mile-an-hour hit side 2-seamer. Not much you could do with that, Eric Hinsky. That's strikeout number 3 tonight for Ubaldo. Text the booth. How's De La Rosa doing since his Tommy John surgery? CL in Fountain, Colorado. There's Jorge, and he's ahead of schedule. He's got full range of motion in that left elbow. You know, there's nothing on it. If you can move the graphic, you can see. Give us a shot if you don't mind to get see. I mean,
there's no hesitation.
Contraption on the arm anymore.
Yeah, but there's no hesitation either in Jorge's mind where he's feeling like, oh, I've got to protect my elbow. He's just resting it up there. That's a good sign. He's ahead of schedule, but it's still a process where it's going to be 9 to 12 months out. You want to make sure that muscle, that tendon, all the stuff that is involved is strong and ready to go. They've already done their shoulder work, starting to work on the wrist. All the things that are involved are coming back from Tommy John.
So yes, Mel Rogers to the left of De La Rosa, still rehabbing. He had the lat injury.
He's still going to go out and make one more start before they decide what his next step would be in the progression.
And a strikeout of Alex Gonzalez. That looked like a slider that Ubaldo's shaking his head because that was a poorly executed pitch, whatever it was, but it had a good result. Look, it was a slider that just fell, slipped out of his hand.
Well, you'll take it because how many times do we say it was a bad slider and then it got hit out? We saw it with Brandon Beachy, and you got away with one for Ubaldo.
Nate McLeod, he struck out his first time. Get Holbrook?
Yes. Straight off the bounce. I don't think Chris got any leather on that before it came up and hit Sam.
So Esmill driving back and forth when he works for Colorado Springs. Here's a great story on AAA Travel. AAA was one of our sponsors, but we're talking about the minor leagues. Colorado Springs last night was returning from a road trip, and their flight was delayed. They had a 7 o'clock game down at Security Field in Colorado Springs. Their flight landed at 5:30. I mean, normally guys were at the ballpark 3.5, 4 hours before the game. You have batting practice and you get prepared. They didn't get to the park till 6 o'clock. And so they had to delay the start of the ball game because their uniforms and equipment didn't arrive at 6. It arrived sometime later, so they put stuff on, and the ball game got off a little bit later. Jeff Houston, Mark Stout tonight from Coors Field. Rockies will play 2 more ball games against the Atlanta Braves, and then they'll head to Arizona. You want to come along, Huey? It's your home state.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Arizona.
All right.
I'll continue to L.A. and San Diego.
Why don't you call up your brother and buy him dinner for once?
I buy him dinner every time I go in.
Here's Cargo. He did a little damage his last time up. A 2-run home run. He's 1 for 1 and a walk tonight. He has scored 2 runs.
We were talking about it in his first at bat. Was the power going to be there? Well, it was here.
Yeah, let's take a look at our Colorado Lottery replay of Cargo's home run in the 2nd inning. Got a slider out over the plate, and he hit it far. Replay your non-winning scratch tickets at coloradolottery.com.
Notice how he's starting to cover that outside pitch again, at least being able to foul it off.
You know, the foot comes down, Huey, and describe this. His hands stay back so he can adjust off speed or away.
They have to. If they start to drift forward with your body, when that high leg kick comes up, if your hands come in towards where your left shoulder is, you're not going to be able to adjust at all. But Carlos, the leg goes up, hands go back. Didn't get it there, but the timing was better.
3rd strikeout for Beachy. Mark Ellis, who's 1 for 2, will come up. Herb in Colorado Springs wants to know what's going on with Tyler Matzik. Well, Matzik was the Rockies' #1 pick 2 years ago out of San Juan Capistrano High School in Southern California. Arguably the best high school pitcher available by consensus. He signed with the Rockies for an enormous bonus, I think in the neighborhood of $4 million. And he was pretty good last year at Asheville. This year in high class A Modesto, he really struggled. He was 0-3 in 10 starts with a .982 ERA. And the problem was he literally had walked more hitters than innings pitched. And then he was sent back to Asheville. He made 3 starts there, 0-2 with an ERA of 14. So he went home for a period of time. He has returned to Asheville. He has not pitched yet for the Tourists.
Well, you want to make sure that he's right moving forward.
Yeah, and a year ago,
because his velocity had dipped a little bit to go along with that.
Yeah, I mean, he was a mid-90s guy on the left side. Last year, 5-1, a .292 ERA in Asheville, and listed among the top 30 prospects in all of baseball. So he's taken a significant step backwards this year, and he's a young guy still, and now he's got to turn it around. Here's the 1-2 on Ellis, fouled off again. 20-year-old. Well, if it works for Jeff Houston, it can work for you. Safe Light Auto Glass, 303-2875-1000, or go to safelight.com. Need a reference? Huey's your man.
Just text me and let me know.
2-2. See, Miguel Tejada got hurt for the Giants last night. They went out and made a trade earlier today for Jeff Keppinger. Pretty good hitting second baseman, middle infield type for Houston. Another hit from Mark Ellis.
We also called up Brandon Belt.
Helton coming up. Time for E470 Road Ahead. Well, the Braves are here for 2 more days, and again, we remind you that Thursday's a day ball game if you're coming out or catching it right here on Root Sports. The pregame show at 12:30, the ball game right after, and then we'll be on the air over the weekend from Arizona. Then it's on to Tinseltown, and thankfully, we don't have to deal with the 405. They got that all straightened out.
Carmageddon?
Yeah, Carmageddon's done. They finished it ahead of schedule. It's the first public works project in the history of Los Angeles that was done ahead of schedule.
He was going to be fined by the minute if he wasn't done in time, but he was, and people of LA are happy again. Or as happy as they can be.
Todd hits it in the air to center. Routine play for Jordan Schaefer. 2 outs. Tulowitzki hearing it from the crowd. He's had a nice ball game. 3-run home run and a double, 2 runs scored. Rockies again 13-4 when Tulowitzki homers. Ball 1 on Troy. Here's McDonald's Big Mac smack. Troy pretty lengthy at bat. He fouled off several pitches, and then he got a breaking ball out over the plate. And he crunched it. Be sure to text McD to get a free Egg McMuffin or Big Mac with the purchase of any drink. And so 1 per person, valid tomorrow only at participating Northern Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming McDonald's. If
I'm Brandon Beachy, I would not want to throw to Troy right now after a home run and a double. Giving him anything in the zone. Troy might have the green light.
Well, why not? You're up 5 runs. He's your cleanup hitter. He's hit 2 balls tonight, a total of about 840 feet. He may very well have had. We just won't know because that pitch wasn't close. Now 2 on for Seth Smith. He ripped a double his last time up.
It's 3 walks now for Beachy. I know one of them was intentional to Dexter Fowler, but he had 0 walks in his last 2 starts. Only 15 walks and a little over 67 innings coming into tonight's ball game.
I mean, amazing numbers. 78 punch outs, as you said, against 15 walks and 67 in a 3rd innings. His strikeout rate, if he were to qualify, he doesn't have enough innings. So, end the inning. A 10.43 strikeout rate per 9 innings would be the best in the National League if he could qualify. Fifth inning, Beachy, and then the top of the order. All right, another text question. We're going to do 6 every Tuesday night. This is a 6 tonight. How many TV cameras are there for our root crew here at Coors Field? First pitch misses. We're going to cut to them all, and you count with us. That's camera 1, 2, camera 3, camera 4, camera 5. Hold on, camera 6, 7. Easy. We got to see this pitch. So we stopped on 7. That's camera 8. Camera 9. That's a blinder.
Oh, that's a good one.
There's us. Camera 10. Camera 11. Overhead camera 12. I don't think we're done. And camera 13, that's out on the post-game set. So we have 13 cameras. Some additional information for you. We have 8 tape machines, so replays. He went around. And Beachy's gone. That's strikeout number 5 for Ubaldo. We have a crew of 28, by the way. There are 18 microphones. Every once in a while, Huey will get frustrated, folks, with something that transpires in the game, and he'll take his headset and he'll slam it down. So we have to have some backup ones. So he's a very emotional guy.
Let's clear that up. It's not me, but there might be somebody else in this booth that does that.
Well,
a few microphones down at field level.
We have a rooting interest.
Yes, we do. Good
curveball there. 0-1 on George
so
Shaver.
A lot of people go into this production.
You know what? And we say this periodically. We don't want all those folks to get a big head. But this is a fact. This is not just us being nice to our crew. We live in a beautiful, beautiful spot in the country. And we have attracted, because of the lifestyle and also the high quality over the years of television brought to all of you, we've got a lot of the top people in the business who live here. So we have the best camera operators, the best folks in tape and audio and video going. We really do on a regional level. We're just fortunate and blessed to that. So folks, we have a wonderful crew here at Root Sports.
And each and every night.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's trying to put on the best show for you at home.
And Schaefer blown away. That is strikeout number 6.
The guy that's putting on the show. Oh, there you go, Sam.
look at Sam.
That's the first 20 we've ever seen out of Sam's pocket.
This isn't Sammy's. He borrowed it from Doug's.
I didn't know Doug had a 20 either.
All right.
That was the 20 you borrowed from me yesterday.
I didn't think you got paid for this. I thought we were still had you on an internship situation. Have we shown that camera before?
It was on that 20.
It's camera 11.
That's Andrew Jackson. He's squinting. That's how.
Andrew Jackson's trying to get the cobwebs out of his eyes. This is fouled off. Look at Sam. He's not even focused anymore. He wants that $20 back. Here you go, Sam. Mr. Harley Davidson. Sam Herniason. 2-strike count on Martin Prado. Ubaldo dropped down, but the slider was left up, and Prado punches it through the middle of the diamond. So a 2-out single, and this is where Jimenez gotten a little bit of trouble in the 3rd inning. A 2-out infield hit by Prado, and then McCann had that hard shot down the line. All of a sudden it was 1st and 3rd, and Freddie Freeman was up.
Yeah, and Freddie, the Rockies killer, Freeman. But Ubaldo got him on a strikeout away. But also what this does is it opens that hole between 1st and 2nd.
He was looking in there, wasn't he? Pulled foul. Smart hitter, smart young hitter. All right, he's come in there the first couple of at-bats. That's where you always talk about adjustments.
Yes, and that's what Freddie, for being a guy that's 21 years old, making that adjustment, knowing that they've come in, tried to eat me inside. I'm gonna get onto that first fastball. Now the question is, do you go back inside again? I would, or at least elevate a ball on him.
You know, we're talking about Freeman. I apologize. It's McCann.
Oh yeah.
We were one step ahead of ourselves.
Well, we were thinking about what happened back in the 3rd inning, as you mentioned, with Brian McCann getting the base hit.
I looked up there and I'm like, wait a second.
That's not Freddie.
He put on some pounds.
That's Brian McCann.
Here's the 0-2 on McCann. It's away. And McCann, McCann, you better change your sequence too. He's hitting .309 for a reason coming in.
Martin Prado, 4 stolen bases, but with the 1-2 count, it is a running count.
I'd just be shocked if Freddie Gonzalez turned him loose, because I mean, Prado's not exactly Ricky Henderson, and you're down by 5 runs, and McCann could make it a 3-run game.
And he's been caught 5 times.
Sometimes it's tough on a manager when you're down. You want to push the envelope, but you got to exhibit patience also.
You don't want to run into an out.
2-2, and the foul tip's held by Iannetta. Ubaldo ends up striking out the side. He's got 7 punch outs in 5 strong innings. Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota moving forward. By the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by King Soopers, more value for the way you live. Well, we had about a 30-minute delay at the outset because of some rain and lightning overhead that's turned into another pleasant and beautiful Colorado evening. Snow caps up in the high Rockies, and a changeup misses ball 1 to Ian Stewart. Stewart, a fly ball to left field, and a drive to the wall in center. Almost had his first home run of the year. Stewart, Iannetta, and Fowler against Brandon Beachy. And he went soft again, outside 2-0.
The last couple innings have been a little bit better for Beachy. Still throwing 82 pitches in the ball game, 49 strikes, 39 balls, or 33 balls, excuse me.
3-1. He missed some time earlier this year with an oblique strain. He was in a battle for the 5th starter spot in spring training with Mike Minor. Now, that name may sound familiar to you seam heads, because Minor's a #1 pick, former #1 pick. That's ball 4. Left-hander. And Atlanta, they weren't playing favorites, despite the fact that they have a lot more money invested in Minor. They said, you know what, Beachy has pitched better. It'll be Beachy's job.
Yeah, but Beachy was also the 8th best prospect coming into the year for the Braves. So it wasn't like he was completely off the radar. You're right. A lot of times you'll see ball clubs do that. Say, well, this guy's #1. He deserves it because he's rated #1. But Beachy was 8th, and he just pitched better.
Iannetta has popped out twice. He's got an interesting slide step. He's got a little bit of a hitch in it when he works out of the stretch.
Yeah,
watch him here if he uses it.
It's unusual to have the hitch, because the reason you do the slide step is to be a little quicker to the plate.
I mean, he goes up, it's short going up, and then it extends out.
Well, that allows his arm to get up into a throwing position. When you're a little bit more higher, 3/4 more towards the top, you have to allow your arm to get up there, and that's why you have to even do the hitch, as you mentioned, Drew, because his arm has to get to that throwing position.
1-2 on Iannetta. Chris, a couple of hits last night, 5 for 15 on the homestand. Rockies fans, we want you to check out the Root Sports website, RockyMountain.rootsports.com. It's your home for the latest Rockies videos and scores during the season. Plus, sign up for our e-blasts to keep you connected to your favorite team all year long by clicking on the envelope icon on our homepage. And you and I did some video stuff for the website prior to the ball game. So that'll probably be up in the next day or so. Let's put heat on him. It'll be up in an hour.
Or at least
make him edit it real quick.
Couple hours.
Couple hours.
If not, check back tomorrow.
Emily's handling that. She's down in the truck right now. Emily, is that going to be up by tomorrow?
It is now.
Maybe by tomorrow. There's our definitive answer.
I like that. Maybe. Somebody's on the phone now, and that's Roger McDowell.
And Roger doesn't want to get a maybe on the other end.
He wants to make sure somebody's out there and answers.
Iannetta again wastes a pitch, 2-2. Minor was listed as a number 4 prospect. He was a number 1 pick out of Vanderbilt in 2009. 7th overall pick. He was signed for a $2.42 million bonus. Runner going, and the throw to second is going to get Stewart.
Right on the money from Brian McCann. This is an easy apply of a tag for Dan Ugla. And the catcher puts it right at the base of the bag. Catch it, let the runner slide into it. Great look from the Exmo. Hold it, tag him, and then pull the hand up, get it out of there so he doesn't spike you.
Another 3-2, ball 4. Good at bat for Chris Iannetta. That's 5 walks allowed by Beachy. And you wonder how much longer Freddie Gonzalez is going to go with him. He may have felt differently had Stewart not gotten thrown out.
Right, because now you're having an opportunity to tack on some more runs to the young fella.
AT&T trivia question. This ball is lifted to center field. We'll show you the question again in a moment. Schaefer makes the catch. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Ubaldo. Here's our AT&T trivia question. Todd Helton's in his 14th season with the Rockies. Only 4 players have been with their team longer. Can you name them? By the way, going into the season, we're talking about the Braves and how well they've developed and their top prospects. Beachy was the, as you said, was the number 8 prospect in their system. The number 1 prospect, Julio Teheran, he's not in the big leagues. Freddie Freeman was their number 2 prospect. We know what he's done. Randall Delgado was number 3. He's not in the big leagues right now. Mike Minor, number 4, not in the big leagues right now. Craig Kimbrell was number 5. He's leading the big leagues in saves. And then making sure none of their other prospects have made the big leagues yet this year. I don't believe so, but Atlanta's always done a good job in developing players, particularly arms.
Well, a lot of guys from the Atlanta, Georgia area as well.
They don't let guys get out of their backyard too frequently.
With that last walk that Chris Iannetta had given 5 on the night, he's set a career high now. His career high prior to this was 4, a game against the Florida Marlins back on April 14th.
How about the Pirates? They won again tonight, 1-0 over Cincinnati.
They scored that run in the first inning.
And they made it stand up. Good for Clint Hurdle and the Bucks. They remain in first place in the National League Central. One of the great stories developing in 2011. James McDonald went 6 1/3, 4 hits, shutout baseball. Struck out 7 for Pittsburgh. Beimel got an out. Joe Beimel, the former Rocky. Joel Hanrahan got his 28th save. He's only blown 1. That was a couple of days ago. He's got nasty stuff.
ERA at 124.
Mike Leake took the loss. He allowed just a run on 2 hits in 6 innings for Cincinnati. It's the latest the Pirates have been in first place in a season since their last winning season, 1992. Barry Bonds was still playing for him.
Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, Jose Lean, Mike LaValliere, Doug Drabeck.
It was so long ago you were playing.
I remember those guys. Played against him.
And a line drive base hit. And with Iannetta going, he had designs on heading to third. But he said, you know what, I'm going to shut it down here. I know who's coming up. And Freddie Gonzalez is going to have to go get Brandon Beachy. He throws 102 pitches. He gives up at least 6 runs on 9 hits, the most runs he's ever given up in his young career. Pretty good at bat by Ubaldo.
Well,
he battled.
The battle, fouled a lot of pitches off. Also left some breaking pitches down in the dirt. He got a pitch he liked and hit it for his 4th base hit of the season.
Well, the starting pitchers, like most staffs, have a friendly wager at the start of the year who's going to have the most hits. Well, Ubaldo gets to chalk one up. For Jimenez, he's got it 5 now. They have 2 on with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Carlos Gonzalez coming up against Corey Gear. And stick around after our Toyota postgame show for a special 1-hour episode of the Dan Patrick Show. And And you can normally catch the Dan Patrick Show weekday mornings at 7. Check out all the highlights. It's coming up after the game on the Dan Patrick Show. So here's Cargo, a 2-run home run, a walk and a strikeout.
Rocky saw Gearin back on July 5th. Had a hole in that ball game, pitched the third of an inning. Pretty high ERA, but that comes from one outing against the Phillies when he threw 1 in the third, gave up 4 hits, 6 earned runs during that time.
Yeah, that'll mess up your ERA if you work out of the pen. Here's the 0-1. Different arm angle, 0-2.
Wells Fargo's customers can get 2-for-1 club level seats at wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC, official bank of the Colorado Rockies.
Ionetta's at second. He walked. Ubaldo with a base hit. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and Cargo's got to be careful. Sam Holbrook took his mask off quickly. Cargo upset with the call, threw his bat, and spiked his helmet. 6-1 Colorado.
Freddie Freeman a lot because of the damage he's done to the Rockies where he's about to hit. Let's take a look at a cool graphic. You go back the last 13 seasons and look at the starting first baseman for the Braves. Go back to 1999. They've had 12 different starting first basemen. Adam LaRoche back-to-back, the only name you see there. I think, guys, from here on in, it's going to be Freddie Freeman for quite some time with this team. If you saw the postgame last night, he told me that the guy that he watched growing up as a first baseman, J.T. Snow, because he won 6 Gold Gloves, but he is a good one that the Braves have, guys.
Well, he's a Southern California guy, and J.T. Snow played out there for a long time in Anaheim. Did you play with J.T.?
No, played against him.
And he was in San Francisco. Our Toyota Talk inning. Ask you if you were in the big leagues, what would your walk-up song be? Here's the 0-2 to Freeman.
So what would yours be? Put Me in Coach by John Fogerty?
Well, see if I'm at no, because I'm already in the game, so they wouldn't have to play that. Actually, All Summer Long by Kid Rock. Now, if I played in New York, that's if I played here. If I played in New York, it would be I'm in a New York State of Mind by Billy Joel.
It's kind of mellow for a walk-up song, isn't it?
You know what? I'm already ready to go. I don't need the music's not going to get me that much. You know, I'm already focused. I'm ready to go. I'm not going to take a tune to pump me that much. Come on. You went up to organ music in your day.
Yeah, but today, if I had something to walk up to, maybe something by Creed or Scott Stapp.
And Ubaldo got Freeman on a splitter.
8 strikeouts now for Ubaldo.
He punched out 9 when he was in Atlanta.
6 ground ball outs, just a couple flyouts.
It's kind of been a start where he's gotten, you know, a little bit better and a little bit better. Because remember, at one point, 43 pitches into the ball game. I remember it was 22 strikes, 21 balls. Now it's 52 strikes, 34 balls after 86 pitches.
And so working ahead of a lot of hitters.
Exactly. So he's starting to get strike one a lot more.
Hey, did you see that? Somebody had your song.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I missed it already.
Put me in, coach.
Well, that's not mine. That's your song. My song would be Rock, Rock, Never Stop by Def Leppard. All right. Hotel California. See, I love Hotel California. That's a classic. You and I were checking that out at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that the Eagles exhibit, right?
Yeah, the lyrics and how they kept all the hotel keys on one tour.
Am I Evil from Metallica. Slowly hit foul. Another Metallica shout out from HP and Grand Junction.
Phantom of the Opera.
Tulo, Cargo, and Ubaldo winning trio. That would be a good song.
Tonight, so far, it is the winning trio.
C&W fan, Tim McGraw classic. 2-2 on Ugla. Remember the name. That's different. That usually when he drops down, it's slider. He dropped down and threw the heater there. It wasn't close.
He got hurt with the drop down slider to Martin Prado last at bat. Hit the ball right back up the middle.
Put me in, coach. John Fogerty again. High fly ball to deep center field, and Ugla has hit another. Boy, he is strong. I don't think that fastball was a strike.
Just up a little bit, maybe. It just goes back to the point we've been making, that Dan Ugla just swings from his heels when he goes up there. The average might not be very high at 193 now, but 17 home runs, 37 RBIs, back-to-back at bats for him where he hits one out. Dexter Fowler going back to the wall trying to make the leap, but too far out of his reach.
Hensky lines it to pretty deep center field. Cargo goes back and makes the catch. 2 outs. That'll bring up Alex Gonzalez. 12th career multi-home run game for Dan Ugla. I was talking to somebody earlier about that. You know, you could use John playing here in Colorado. It's a couple of John Denver classics. Rocky Mountain High. It's a breaking ball for a strike. Dougie would, not surprisingly, pick a Grateful Dead.
Deadhead.
Eyes of the World. I thought it'd be Widespread Panic. He would alternate. Drew Anderson, one of our camera guys, tried to make Drew famous the other day with the Mark Ellis story. Black Betty by Ram Jam.
Ram Jam. One-hit wonder, weren't they?
I got all those from K-Tel in the 70s. I do.
K-Tel.
1-2, and that's fouled off. Jaws theme. Bad to the bone. Remember we met, where were we? We were in Chicago, right? George Thorogood was there singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Got to meet him. I got a classic from about 40 years ago. That's inside. Bad Company, by Bad Company. What do you think, Doug? You see that work, right? Give me a little fist bump on that. Down low, 3-2. All those 102 pitches in. Some of the deep counts early.
Pretty cool night, though. If Jim Tracy feels inclined, he could send him back out with the bottom part of the order coming up next inning. You have the 8th place hitter, then the pitcher's spot, and the leadoff hitter.
And you don't get an off day for a while. Good pitch. Slider strikes out Gonzalez. That's punch out number 9. Dan Ugla has been the entire offense tonight for Atlanta. He's got a couple of solo home runs. 6-2 Rockies. Once again, Todd Helton's in his 14th year with the Rockies. Only 4 players have been with their club longer. Can you name them? Well, one isn't here, Larry Jones. Chipper's rehabbing from knee scope. Derek Jeter, 16 years with the Yankees. Jorge Posada, 16 years with the Yankees. Mariano Rivera, 16 years with the Yankees.
Pretty fine trio.
Yeah.
In New York.
Had a little bit of success there.
Leading hitter, leading saves. One of the catchers of one of the top catchers the last 15, 17 years. Mark Ellis in his 9th game here at Coors hit .417 average. 7 doubles, couple home runs, 10 RBIs.
And ground ball to second. 1 out. Helton will come up to face Corey Gearin. Well, we'd like to welcome all our Emory Telecom viewers from Cleveland, Utah. Well, I know we and the Rockies really appreciate your support. So send us a message on the Root Sports Facebook page. Let us know your favorite place to root for the Rockies. That's all the good folks over in Cleveland, Utah. And Emory Telecom. We got to look up on a map. Doug, look up
that's
where
where I'm
Cleveland,
looking right
Utah
now.
is. Are you doing it?
Yep, it's by Huntington.
Okay, now tell me where Huntington, Utah is. And
Well, it's kind of over a little north of I-70.
okay, now I'm getting a read on things.
You can take a ride out of Green River if you want and head over that way. Maybe go up through Emory.
How far north of Green River?
Oh, looking on the map, it's probably 50, 70 miles.
Okay, so you know what? It's like it's a
You know what? It's
about
near
a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, it's near the Cedar Mountain Recreation Area, just a little north of there.
5-hour drive. 3-0 on Helton. Todd a double and a run scored in the first. He's 1 for 3. Helton with the 3rd highest average in the National League in the month of July. 404. Neil Walker of the Pirates is number 1. Then Emilio Bonifacio of Florida. And Hanley Ramirez, he's come on. He's hitting 400 this month. And the Rocky killer, Nate Shearholtz, is hitting 371 for the Giants.
Jack McKeon has helped Hanley Ramirez out a ton down in Florida.
Get his confidence back, didn't he?
Yes.
A walk with 1 out to Todd, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki. Another lottery replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Replay all those non-winning scratch tickets at ColoradoLottery.com before the end of the month. 3rd inning, Troy Tulowitzki thought he hit his 2nd home run of the ball game. Hit it to the deepest portion of the ballpark. 420-foot double. That was against Beachy. This is his first look at Gearin. Beachy goes 4 2/3. He gives up 6 runs on 9 hits. He walked 5, struck out 3. Probably his poorest outing in his young big league career.
You always have to pull something out of a game, whether it's good or bad, and he'll learn that he can't miss his location. If he does, it's going to get hit far.
This is in the air to right. The 2 pitches that were hit for home runs were sliders. The one to Tulowitzki, right? And the one to Carlos Gonzalez. Smith will come up.
Gearin's different than Beachy was, in the same style of pitcher as fastball, slider, changeup, but a lower arm angle. Lower 3/4 and a slinger where he really fires that front hip out and drags the arm behind.
This ball is hitting the air to deep center field. Schaefer going back, still going back, can't make the catch, skips off the top of the wall. Smith is hunting 3rd while Helton's going to score. Another triple for Seth Smith. His 6th triple of the year. Back-to-back nights with a 3-bagger for Smith. And the Rockies have hit that magic number. They've got 7. Tacos for everybody tomorrow between 4 and 6 at Taco Bell.
Takes a fastball that was sinking away from him. The rotation on the ball and working it towards the outside part, but head down in the full extension off the barrel. Jordan Schaefer, heck of an effort to go back and try to get it. But Seth just drives it over the head. Now he's tied for 5th in the National League with 6 triples. We talked about being tied for fourth in doubles, and now it's tied for fifth in triples.
They're going to walk Ian Stewart and go right on right with Iannetta. I have to tell you something. This is where the Rockies, they've always drafted good athletes. There's a baseball scouting term that speaks of how a guy runs, quote unquote, underway. And Seth Smith has pretty good speed once he's underway. And that means, you know, he may not be the fastest out of the block, but once he gets going, he runs pretty well.
And to me, a lot of times that means more than a guy that's really fast. But how does he run first or third? Is he able to cut the bags? Can he go home to second, second to home? All those things where there's not going to be a play on you. And Seth does that because he runs well underway, as you said. And that comes from cutting bags. It comes from the longer stride.
Here's Iannetta. Gets a slider for a strike. And once again, tacos for everybody tomorrow. Make sure you get to Taco Bell between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special. Two and one.
Guerin pitches off his slider more times than not with the right-hander up. Throw you sliders, and keep working them away from you.
About to work that slider into a bases loaded situation. Chris Iannetta probably thinking that heater may show up right here.
Well, it started on the outside corner, make it look like a fastball.
He got the fastball, but it was in. And the bases are loaded for Dexter Fowler. Roger McDowell on a jog to the mound. Well, that is 8 walks allowed by the Atlanta Braves staff tonight. That is most unusual. I'm sure you're thinking at home like we are up here. When you walk 8 in the ball game, you're not supposed to win.
Well, they came into the ball game 5th in the National League, giving up the fewest number of walks, 2.71 per 9 innings. Typically not a club that's going to beat themselves and put a lot of extra traffic out there. The bases loaded this year. Dexter Fowler 2 for 3.
Dexter drives the ball to right center field, and it is over the head of Schaefer. It'll clear the bases. Fowler may have a chance for inside the Parker. They're going to shut him down at third. A 3-run triple for Fowler, and the rout is on. Boy, that has to feel great for Dexter Fowler.
He's been scuffling when he came back from the left side. But got a base hit tonight earlier, intentionally walked, and now he hits a triple over the head of Jordan Schaefer, and it feels like a whole weight of the world is lifted off the back of Dexter Fowler. 17 RBIs now from the left side, 21 total.
Jimenez at the plate. 10-2 Colorado. Jordan Schaefer's been in the track meet in center field this inning. And he keeps finishing second to the baseball.
Dexter Fowler this year with runners in scoring position, 349.
Yeah, I erroneously said that Dex had, or excuse me, that Ubaldo had 5 hits with his single last inning. He has 4 hits on the year. And what I meant to say is the team lead among pitchers is 5 in their friendly wager. And that's Chacin, De La Rosa, who obviously is going to be stuck on 5, and Jason Hamm.
But I think Jason's probably saying, I've got a home run, though. That counts double, right?
You know what? He's going to need a good attorney in the clubhouse to get that one passed. Here's the 3-1. I was talking to Jolice about that competition with the starting pitchers. And Jolice is betting on himself, so I'm going to win it.
He's improved a lot.
He has. That's ball 4, and now you're going to, I would think, have to go get Gearing. Margot's waiting. Freddie Gonzalez is stirring.
Well, he just checked to make sure that he was.
He's trying to get somebody's attention to go visit with him.
Yeah, just go talk to him for a moment. Slow things down.
Got the veteran Scott Proctor throwing. Wow, you saw him whistle, and I'm amazed, especially McCann has been around forever, why nobody's gone out. I guess not.
No, what he was trying to tell Freddie Freeman is just to back up, play behind the ball over at first. That hit him.
And the bases are loaded again for Mark Ellis.
Freddie Gonzalez comes out to make a double switch. We'll look to see where this ball caught Carlos Gonzalez. I mean, that's not even close.
I think it's a slider.
It is a slider. It's a bad feeling as a hitter when you're in the box and you're trying to back up out of the way and the ball keeps chasing you.
Right.
It's like that dream. You can't get away from that whatever's chasing you, and that's what that ball was doing to Carlos's leg.
Not a very good inning for Corey Gearing. Time for the Cooney Lexus look back. First inning, Troy Tulowitzki 2 aboard. It's a 3-run home run off of Brandon Beachy. And then in the second inning, Carlos Gonzalez comes up with a man aboard, and he hits a 2-run home run against Brandon Beachy. In the third inning, the Rockies kept the heat on. Back-to-back doubles, Tulowitzki and Smith. It was 6-0. And now it is 10-2. Rockies have scored 4 times in the 6th. And they have the bases loaded once again. Julio Lugo's in at shortstop. Fowler, Jimenez, and Cargo all aboard. Scott Proctor pitching to Mark Ellis.
Matt Reynolds is up throwing now in the bullpen for the Rockies with this lead. You can take Ubaldo out of the ball game.
Yeah, when it was 6-2 or maybe even 7-2, Ubaldo obviously hit for himself a moment ago. Looked like the Rockies were thinking about keeping him in, but with 102, 104 pitches and that huge lead, no reason to.
Especially after having to run the bases a couple times tonight. Going to do it back in the 5th inning and now here in the 6th. Don't take a chance in pulling a muscle, cramping up, anything like that.
Two and two on Ellis. 2 hits tonight, 4 trips for Mark. And Ellis hits it on the ground to Lugo. And Atlanta finally gets out of the inning. 4 runs for the Rockies in the 6th. They're up 10-2. Well, the Rockies offense has come alive tonight. 10 runs on 11 hits. They're up 10-2 on the Braves, trying to earn their first victory this year against Atlanta. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Mark Stout from the ballpark. You know what's interesting about that last inning? The Rockies scored 4 times, Huey. There were only 2 hits, 2 triples in the inning.
Yeah, 4 walks and a hit by pitch, though. When you're doing that, you don't have to get the hits.
Well, Ubaldo will continue on. Nate McLouth will lead things off. Then Julio Lugo. This is pitch number 105, ball 1. Two and 0. Rockies have done some damage to the Braves. ERA of 3.17 coming in, which is the third best in baseball. Took a right cross and a left uppercut tonight.
He needed to after what the Braves had done to the Rockies in the first 5 games of this series. You know, Atlanta had outscored the Rocks 31-12 in those 5 games. Tomorrow's starter.
Have to deal with Tim Hudson.
Tim Hudson.
To left field. First at bat for Julio Lugo. Came in for Alex Gonzalez a few minutes ago in that double switch.
The veteran Julio Lugo. And for a number of ball clubs. You can follow the Rockies with MLB.com at Bat 2011 app featuring highlights and much more. Text at Bat to 31826.
Here's 2-1 to Lugo. That's outside 3-1. Hard shot at Tulowitzki. Nice play.
As hard as that ball was hit, Troy just caught it and had the time to be able to get it out of his glove and rifle it over to first. Caught it going by, made the set with his feet. A little drop step to get a little bit better angle, shuffle, and over the top, about 95 over to Todd.
1-1 on Schaefer. Schaefer 0 for 7 in the series. Good defender. Suspect bat.
Just hitting 182 off left-handers this year, 10 for 55 righties, a 250 clip. Was anointed the starting center fielder a couple years ago. That didn't work out. Got sent back down. Never been able to find the bat to translate in the big leagues. No question about his defense, his stolen bases, 13 stolen bases, just not enough offense.
And he walks Schaefer. And Martin Prado, who has a couple of hits against him coming up. If it goes beyond Prado with McCann coming up next, you'll see Matt Reynolds. You may see him right now. You will.
120 pitches on the evening for Ubaldo.
So Ubaldo goes 6 2/3. And he's going to hear it from the crowd in line for his 6th victory. Gives up the 2 solo home runs to Dan Uggla. Struck out 9. He walked just 1. And a standing ovation for Ubaldo Jimenez. Well deserved.
Season high with those 120 pitches. Prior was 119.
Rocks up. pitchers listening in. Ubaldo Jimenez, Jorge De La Rosa, Juan Nicasio. Ubaldo actually walked 2. I forgot to count the last one, Jordan Schaefer. So Martin Prado's at the plate. And Matt Reynolds, who's done a great job against righties this year, to get that final out here in the top of the 7th. That's a strike. Righties hitting 157, 8 for 51 this year against Matt. Lefties at 250.
Only one home run given up to left-handers, and that was to Freddie Freeman on the breaking pitch down in Atlanta. There's a cross-up.
Yeah. You wonder how that happens with a runner at first base.
Chris was lucky to get leather on that. He was expecting the ball to break down, and it didn't. He threw his glove up and knocked it down at the last moment.
On the ground to second. Mark Ellis has got it. Over to Todd Helton. And Matt Reynolds comes in and retires Martin Prado. 10-2 Colorado, stretch time at Coors Field. Job well done, Ubaldo. Tech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. The Rockies got after the good-looking rookie Brandon Beachy. 9 hits, 6 runs over 4 2/3, couple of home runs. Tulowitzki a 3-run shot, Cargo a 2-run shot, and Ubaldo Jimenez a workmanlike 6 2/3. The 2 runs he gave up, 2 solo home runs to Dan Ugla. Walked 2, struck out 9, in line for his 6th win of the year. Todd Helton swings at the first pitch from Scott Proctor. It's strike 1. Proctor got the final out of the 6th inning. Corey Guerin, 1 inning of work, gave up 4 runs on a couple of hits. He walked 3.
This is almost identical to the ball that Chris took off his wrist, just a little bit higher up onto the shoulder of Brian McCann.
Actually, Guerin walked 4. Beachy walked 5. That's 9 walks in the game.
With Ubaldo's outing tonight, ERA is sitting right at 4 now. It went down. It was 4.08 coming into the game. 4. His home ERA will drop down.
Well, at the end of May, what was his ERA? 6 something?
At the end of May, yeah, it was
586. Close enough. And now let's get down where you expect him to be. Below 4. In
Also,
fact, you expect him in the low threes,
Right.
and he has enough time to get there.
it's certainly trending downward.
Well, he's going to get start on Sunday in Arizona, and then he'll start in San Diego. And he's the toughest guy to hit on the road in baseball this year. This is the trend you want.
0-5 in his first 9 starts. And with the, presuming he gets the win tonight, he'll have 56 for his career, which will move him ahead of Jeff Francis for 3rd place, only trailing Jason Jennings and Aaron Cook.
And Cook stuck on 69 wins right now. A couple of starts ago, Baldo moved past Pedro Estacio. Here's the 2-2, and Todd drives this foul.
You want to see what Coors Field looks like behind the scenes? You can do that. They're available Monday through Saturday. You can do it as a group or as an individual. We'll call 303 Rockies to get some ticket information.
Here's the 3-2 to Hilton. Hilton not sure, decided to cover that one also.
Just another patented Todd Helton at bat.
His ability to identify early out of the hand, yet wait,
And foul off pitches other people can't.
and then earn a walk. He's an artist at the plate. I mean, he has good at bat after good at bat after good at bat, season after season after season.
Well, that's just the 10th walk by the Braves staff tonight.
Not very good.
Nope.
Troy in the second half, 9 for 25. Home run, 7 driven in, hitting .360. And if you tell that to Tulowitzki, all he'll tell you about is the 3 at-bats late in ball games where he wasn't able to get a hit.
Those are the ones you always remember as a hitter. That last one when you didn't drive in the runs, you had a chance to win the ball game, you didn't do it.
But Troy also, as driven as he is, as hard on himself as he is, he also has learned to understand that it is impossible to come through every time or even anywhere close to that. That'll drop for a hit, and Todd's going to go first to third. Troy's a triple shy of the cycle. 3rd hit of the night. This little boy evidently got hit by one of Todd's foul balls. He gets the baseball, and
Yes.
yeah, I got the baseball. The Owie's not too bad.
What a trooper.
Oh, good. Unfortunately, he's fine, it looks like. And he's got a little souvenir to show his buddies. Smith's had a nice night. RBI double in the 3rd, RBI triple last inning. And this will get the job done. Schaefer in center field. And here comes Helton with the Rockies' 11th run. 3rd ribby of the night for Smith, number 40 on the year.
Got it deep enough to drive in Todd. want to go back to Troy just for a moment. We were talking about him and his saying how he feels not driving guys in. Well, the league average with runners in scoring position is 251. The Rockies as a team hitting 251. What do you think Troy's hitting?
Over 300.
Yep, 306.
Stewart takes a strike. My favorite phrase about baseball, it's a hard game.
It is. It looks easy. When you think back to the time you were playing Little League, you're watching it on TV. Oh, why didn't he hit this pitch?
It's a hard and humbling game.
Well, just when you think you have it figured out, it'll knock you down a couple pegs.
Two outs. And that'll bring up Iannetta. Chris has popped out twice and walked twice. Iannetta's walk total now for the season 54, which leads the club
by a wide margin.
Yeah, Helton second. Todd's got 43 walks. It'll be interesting to see Jose Reyes the rest of this year. He's got a huge lead in the batting race in the National League. And there's no reason to expect him to drop off considerably. It's hard to hit 354 for a whole season. I throw it out there because Todd, if he were to come back to the pack a little bit, Todd continue to swing the bat the way he has, who knows? There's a chance Helton could win a batting title.
Yeah, Jose Reyes 2 for 5 tonight with 355. But you're right. If something happens, he goes on one of those stretches.
Todd right now, coming into today, tied for second in the league with Joey Votto at 324.
And it is going to be a horse race between he and Lance Berkman with the comeback player of the year.
Boy, Berkman's had a huge season. I mean, Berkman's going to get plenty of votes if it continues the way it has for MVP. I don't know if they'll be first place votes, but he's going to get votes.
And Ryan Vogelsong with the Giants will get some of those votes too.
Sure. Fouled off.
Talked about Tim Hudson pitching tomorrow. He was the National League Comeback Player of the Year last year.
3-2. This ball's lined to right field into the gap, and it's going to roll to the wall. Here comes Tulowitzki with the Rockies' 12th run, an RBI double for Iannetta. Well, the Rockies clearly tired of getting beaten up by the Braves this year. And they're exacting some revenge this evening, up 12-2.
Had a little sand kicked in their face the first 5 games that they played against the Braves. You got to take some of that back.
Going in, the Rockies have been outscored with 31-12.
31-12, yes, in the 5 wins by the Atlanta Braves.
Dexter in his last at bat, a 3-run triple. Another Colorado Lottery replay. Replay all those non-winning scratch tickets at ColoradoLottery.com through the end of the month. He didn't wait. First pitch he got, he hit over the head of Schaefer. Thought for a moment he'd have a chance at an inside the park grand slam. When was the last time you saw one of those?
Schaefer got up pretty quickly. If not, that was going to be one of those.
Two and one. We're talking about the batting race in the National League. Reyes at 355 now after the 2 for 5 in his return from the hamstring injury. Joey Votto tonight was 0 for 4, 3 punch outs, so he drops to 320. Todd's average 1 for 3 tonight's gone up to 325. So he'll be in second place by himself tomorrow when he wakes up. Three-one, base hit. And Iannetta will get the stop sign at third, which is what you do late in the ball game when you're up by 10 runs.
And third hit on the night for Dexter Fowler.
Good to see.
It's nice to see that ball where he stayed inside of it, got jammed a little bit, but still strong enough, and especially from the left side. Over the head of Julio Lugo. You don't want to rub it in. You stop at third base.
Well, Matt Reynolds getting a swing the bat. Second AB of the year.
He probably had to run up into the locker room to get his batting gloves.
And he gets it in play. Rockies get two more in the inning. Smith a sac fly, Iannetta an RBI double. Two. As we go to the top of the eighth inning at Coors Field, Rockies have made some defensive changes with the large lead. Carlos Gonzalez comes out of the ball game. Ryan Skoborg's into left field. Johnny Herrera's come in for Troy Tulowitzki, and Ty Wigginton has come in for Todd Helton. Get those regulars a couple innings off their feet in preparation for tomorrow night's ball game.
Also give the other guys an opportunity to play a couple innings. Keep them fresh. Ty Wigginton will be in the number 3 spot in the order. Spilly 4 spot. Jonathan Herrera in the number 1 spot. Keeping score at home.
Brian McCann will lead it off against Reynolds. Good fastball. McCann lost his lower hand and slipped off the bat. It looked like he twisted it a little bit. 2 hits tonight for McCann. Average of .313. Jimenez goes 6 2/3, allows 2 runs on 7 hits, walked 2, struck out 9. Real solid effort by Ubaldo.
He kept getting stronger as the game went on.
Couple home runs to Dan Uggla, that was it. Now you look back. his starts over the last couple of months. In terms of earned runs since June 1st in Los Angeles, where he threw that 4-hit shutout. No earned runs, 2 earned runs. 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2. A lot of 2s, a lot of 1s.
A lot of good low scores.
Yeah. Three and 2 on McCann. No swing. Freddie Freeman's 0 for 3. Ubaldo struck him out twice. Got him on a broken bat ground ball to help Matt Belisle getting loose.
We finally got Freddie guessing a little bit where they were going to pitch him. He didn't feel comfortable in the box. He's been getting his arms extended. They worked him inside. They start cheating, and when you do that, easier to pitch to.
Milwaukee beating up the Diamondbacks 9-3 tonight. Hit 4 home runs in that ball game. Ryan Braun's returned to the lineup. He had a 3-run homer. Ricky Weeks has hit another home run.
So Aaron Heilman was released by the Diamondbacks.
Somebody will grab him. That's a good arm. Two on Freeman. And this ball's well hit right center field. Dexter's not going to get there. Brian McCann is going to be held at third on the double by Freeman. Well, Freeman swings the bat well against Matt Reynolds.
We saw the home run on the slider. This time it was a split finger. It didn't dive and go down away from Freeman like Matt wanted it to. Left it up. And you can say one thing about Freddie Freeman is when he gets a mistake, he doesn't miss it. He doesn't foul it back or foul it off. He puts it in play and hits it usually pretty far.
Uggla on the ground is short. McCann didn't move, and Freeman went about a third of the way down. One out. I don't understand why Brian McCann didn't go home. They're not going to throw to the plate. Infield's back.
Conceding the run as a shortstop. Jonathan Herrera is not going to throw home if you take off if you're Brian McCann. I'm not sure where Freddie Freeman thought he was going with the ball hit in front of him.
Yeah, but
McCann should have scored.
Right, it's pretty inexplicable why Brian didn't come home on that. Hinsky behind 0-1. 0-2 on Eric Hinsky. Juan Nicasio, Tim Hudson tomorrow. Nicasio coming off a scoreless outing against Milwaukee. And Nicasio, who the Rockies sent to the hill, working on 15 scoreless inning streak at Coors Field. 1-2. There's Mr. Nicasio.
That's why he's 4-0 with the 1.64 ERA at home. Let's say pitch against Atlanta too. Last time they roughed him up in 2 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. But that was in Atlanta.
Brian McCann made sure he got a good jump. He'll score on the ground out. Hinsky has an RBI, his 23rd. 2 gone. And it's 12-3. Time for the ATL Energy high efficiency inning. We go back to the 2nd inning. Ubaldo Jimenez on the hill. And he got Dan Uggla on a little roller to 3rd. Eric Hinsky would hit a fly ball to center field, and then after a walk to Alex Gonzalez, he would strike out Nate McLeod for one of 9 punch-outs tonight for Ubaldo Jimenez. This is David Ross pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot. He takes ball 1.
David Ross, the backup catcher. Unusual that you would pinch hit him unless he's going to just stay in the ball game. Give Brian McCann a couple innings off, or at least 1 inning off behind the plate.
Brian McCann's one of those guys who catches a lot of innings.
Kind of like a Russell Martin type from the Dodgers a few years ago. Not quite that much, but a lot.
Towering pop up to right field. In the inning, Brian McCann, who walked, would come around on an RBI ground out by Hinsky. 12-3 Colorado, middle of 8. Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Well, Bubble gum, anybody? Rockies 12, the Braves 3. Bottom of the 8th inning. Scott Linebrink will throw to David Ross. Brian McCann will get the rest of the evening off. Johnny Herrera in the ball game last inning at shortstop will lead things off. He's hitting in Carlos Gonzalez's spot, so it'll be Herrera, Ellis, and Wigginton.
Linebrink's still the hard thrower that he's always been. Getting in the league in as many appearances as he's had, he can still get it up there 91 to 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, they just say he's not getting the same movement he used to get. This is looped to center field, and a nice running catch by Julio Lugo. Mark Ellis 2 for 5 tonight. He's coming up. Hey, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Uggla throws out his second base counterpart. And Ty Wigginton will come up. Here's the 1-0 to Wigginton on the outside corner. Rockies entered play today at a season low 6 games beneath 500. They were 6 beneath a few days back. Trying to improve to 46 and 51. The Braves are 18 above 500. Second best record in the National League as we look at Matt Lindstrom. To the team they're chasing, the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Phillies rumored to be one of those guys in the Carlos Beltran sweepstakes.
And Wigginton beat it.
Well, just got that foot there in time.
Guess not. 1-2-3 inning for Linebrink. We'll go to the 9th inning with the Rockies ahead by 9 runs. For Colorado, from a convincing victory over Atlanta, would be their first of the year. Tom Helmer has the Toyota postgame show coming up in a little bit. Tom?
Yeah, Drew, the stars align tonight. The Rockies' big names come through in a big way. We'll talk about them. Also, extra, Dexter Fowler and Seth Smith tied for 5th in the National League in triples with 6th. And Seth Smith 4th in the National League in doubles with 25. We'll talk about their performances as well and get you into the clubhouse to hear from Jim Tracy. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show. Drew?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Matt Lindstrom will throw the last inning. Be able to get a little bit of work.
Well, yeah, the last time he threw was the 16th, 3 days ago against Milwaukee. That's when gave up a run, a couple hits, and an inning. $18 pitches during that outing. Looking to have a quick 1-2-3 tonight.
And Nate McLeod takes a strike at 97. Atlanta came into this ball game 32 and 33 all time at Coors Field. Those few teams that are around 500 or better here. The Dodgers above 500 all time at Coors Field. Aren't many.
No, but a lot of those were early on. The last 12 or 13 ball games, Rockies have had the upper hand.
Yep. This is well hit. The Dex will get over and make the catch. Man, he off the bat, you know, we're right behind, obviously, home plate. And you see balls where Dexter's shaded to the opposite gap. You'll see a ball well struck to the other gap. And it's amazing. Here's our view. It's amazing how much ground he chews up quickly.
But watch how he catches that ball. He's slowing down and have to kind of turn back a little bit because he had covered that ground and caught to the ball, got up to the ball so quickly.
Julio Lugo second at bat. And a line drive to Wigginton. 2 outs. Let's take a look at our minor league report. It's presented by Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. EY had 3 hits down in Colorado Springs. The Sky Sox won 12-4. Chris Nelson 3 for 5, including a home run. Hector Gomez, couple of home runs. He's got a lot of ability if he could only stay healthy. Drove in 7 of the 13 runs for Tulsa. Cabrera continues to pitch pretty well. The 1 on Schaefer. Joey Wong 2 for 4. Drove in 3 for Asheville. So the long season clubs 3-1 last night.
Has been hurt a lot this year.
He's been hurt a lot every year.
That's part of the story of his career.
Yeah. Got a lot of ability. You saw him in spring training. He's still raw. I mean, he flashes the big arm, and he's got bat speed.
Athletic.
We've also seen him throw, you know, routine balls. He's throwing balls into the seats. Dexter's going to have to field this one on a hop. First hit of the series for Jordan Schaefer.
1 for 4 on the night for Mr. Schaefer. Got a slider, 84, hit it out to center field.
Martin Prado 2 for 4 tonight. Prado pulls it to third. Stewart will go the short way. He'll moving Mark Ellis, and that's your ball game. Rockies win for the first time this year against the Atlanta Braves. They do it convincingly. 12-3 the final. Got a 3-run home run early from Troy Tulowitzki. A 2-run home run from Carlos Gonzalez, and they kept adding on. They scored in 5 innings tonight, and Ubaldo Jimenez went 6 2/3 strong innings. He gave up just a couple of runs on 7 hits. He punched out 9. He's now 6 and 8 on the season. The Rockies improved to 46 and 51 overall. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Ubaldo Jimenez tonight, for a guy that probably didn't have his best stuff or his best command. It shows you how gifted he is. Again, working fairly deep into the ball game, giving up just 2 solo home runs to Dan Udla, and still striking out 9. Rockies win it 12-3. Plenty to talk about on the Toyota postgame report. That's coming up next from right here at 20th and Blake.